Hey,
Hey, boys, what's going on?
What's good?
it's a long weekend. It's been
I
fun.
know. Oh, God, so long. So tired, so long. Don't want to go back.
Look a little
Yeah,
sunburned there, my buddy.
A little bit. Yep.
yeah.
It's
Do
a
some
good thing I got my
celebrating.
hat on. Yeah, because I wore a headband, so I've got a nice little streak right in the middle of my forehead.
Yes.
Those will get you. That's fun when you have the trucker hat, the mesh, and then you get that sunburn going too. So,
Yep, been there, done that as well, sir. I feel you.
hey, I got in honor of the fourth. I've got a little bit of a question for you guys here.
Okay.
Out of all the major leaguers active right now,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think is the most likely to blow their finger off in a fireworks accident?
Ooh, jeez. Oh,
Hmm.
man.
Active? Ooh, man. I would have put Puig up there.
Yikes. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Uh, what about?
I got one, but I'm curious to hear what your guys'
Yeah,
are.
I can't think of any like real dummies. Like it would have to be dummy and like klutzy, but we're
Or like
talking
Goofy.
professional.
I'm
Think
thinking
about
Goofy. I'm
Goofy.
kind of
Yeah.
thinking like Brett Phillips, Ty's boy.
Oh man,
Oh, that would be a good one.
I
That's
think I
a
have to
great
agree
answer.
with Brett Phillips. I can't even think of
You
anybody else.
know?
That has to be the winner to me.
So my initial was Joe Kelly, but I like Brett
Ah,
Phillips better. I do
Oh,
think that's a good one.
yeah, those are very good answers, both of them. But Brett Phillips is wild ass going to be out there doing some dumb shit.
here's
Crazy.
hoping no players lose any
Ever.
fingers. Yeah.
Right? No
Right.
shit. All right, boys.
You're listening to the Upper Decker Podcast.
Welcome back. It's episode 71 of the Upper Decker Podcast. I am your boy Ty.
I'm your boy Tone.
And I'm your boy Dan.
And the boys are back in town, baby. Hey, real quick, while I got used people here, check this out. First annual Upper Decker Softball and Cornhole Tournament. It's August 28th. It is sneaking up. Email us. We've talked to many of you out there, and none of you have registered, even though you said you would.
Do it.
Email us and just get a team together. We'll figure it out from there. Just get
It'll be
registered.
fun.
You're going to have to do it at one point. Do it now, and we'll figure it out from there. August 28th, Upper Decker Softball and Cornhole Tournament. Get at us. With that being said, boys, I've got episode 71 here. I got a little bit of an old timer here, boys.
Okay.
His name is Johnny Hodap. Hold on. I got another answer to question answer.
Who did what?
Danny Lutz says, which one of you boys is most likely to blow a finger off with a firework?
I mean, ready on three. 1, 2, 3. Tie.
Tie.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I know it's me. I'm not stupid.
It's not even a clumsy thing, or a dumb thing. It's just
It
recklessness.
would just happen.
Reckless,
I'm a
for
wild man. Yeah, for sure. All right, back to Johnny Hodap. Born in 1905. Going way, way back with this one. His father was an undertaker and an embalmer. So
Like
they
the-
lived.
What? He's been around that long?
WWE legend.
You guys are ridiculous. Absolutely not. Wrestling's not even real. Never existed.
Undertaker, I barely know her.
Embalmer, I barely know her, dude. Nasty
Oh,
fellas.
man.
Oh my goodness. So they lived in an apartment above the funeral parlor that they owned. Hodap actually played one semi-pro game when he was 15 because the team needed an extra glove that day. Back then they had, like the amateur leagues and all that stuff. So him signing on with this team for one day actually put his amateur status at risk, and they had to fight it or whatever. And he was like, I didn't know what I was doing. They said they needed somebody to play, so I just played. I'm 15. Leave me alone. Shit like that.
Defense would work today.
Yeah, probably not. It ended up getting reversed, though, so that he could play. So he was actually signed off of the Cincinnati Sandlots, they said, by the Indianapolis Indians, which were an amateur team. At the age of 18, he played 100 games with them in 1924, and he batted .343 with a .465 slugging. So,
Okay.
yeah, pretty good average. Not a power hitter. He was pretty much known for his speed, kind of like the old boys were back in the day. The Cleveland Indians secured the rights to Hodap in 25, because this was before minor league affiliates were a thing. So they would just bid on these players from the amateur teams and get them that way. So the Giants, the Indians, a couple other teams were bidding for Johnny, but the Indians got him in the long run. So, little fun fact about old Johnny Hodap. On July 29th, 1928, he became the first American leaguer to get 2 hits in 1 inning twice in a game.
So 4 hits, 2 innings.
4 hits, 2 innings.
Whoa!
One
look at
badass
you
game,
over there, Spock.
Oh, you like that? Didn't even practice it. He was plagued by injuries his whole career, but his best season was in 1930. He led the league in games played, hits with 225, and doubles with 51. So that year he slashed 354, 386, 502, and 889 OPS with only 9 home runs.
Wow.
So crushing doubles out there.
Right.
He had 121 RBIs and 111 runs scored. Again, only 9 home runs. So he was just productive at bringing them in. He ended up 6th in the batting race in the AL that season behind guys named Al Simmons. Do y'all know him? Because I don't. That's why I was asking. I was putting you to the test. No. He batted .381 that year. This guy you might know, Lou Gehrig. He batted
heard of him, yeah.
.379 that year.
Rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. Lou Gehrig is he's up there as one of the good guys, I think. Got a comment here. Let's talk about old timers just real quick. Babe Ruth would be ass in modern day baseball. I 100% agree. I think we've talked about that here before.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get into it all that much, but yeah, I agree. He wouldn't match up in today's game at all.
Nope. We're even going to mention him in just a minute here, actually.
Oh, are we? Oh, shit. I see why. All right. Let's head on to some birthdays, Tone. Let's get into it then.
Let's do it. We got some birthdays this week, just a couple of them, because I want to kind of dig in here a little bit. So, you heard of this guy?
I've heard of him a time or two.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani. He's the real deal.
Soon to be American League MVP.
Yes, probably. He has a birthday this week. He's turning 27 today, actually. Truly, what he's doing is he's a once-in-a-lifetime player. I mean, obviously, we're going to have to see how that projects over the course of his career, but what he's doing is just history in the making. It's a lot of fun to witness. He was the first player ever to be selected to the All-Star game as both a pitcher and a hitter this season. Pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
He is often compared to Babe Ruth. See, I told you we were going to talk about him. But a lot of people are pointing out that what he's doing is really more amazing. So as a reminder, Babe Ruth was only truly a two-way player for a 218 game span from 1918 to 1919. So he pitched, crossed over for a season and a half, 2 seasons, and then he openly said the outfield is where I'm staying. That's my spot. He said it's too hard on his body, all that stuff. Shohei's doing it, man. So Tom Verducci, in an ESPN article, I want to make sure he gets his credit here, threw out some pretty incredible statistics about what Ohtani's doing. So for comparison, he hits the ball harder than Juan Soto. Mm-hmm. He pitches harder than Yu Darvish, and he runs faster than Randy Arozarena.
Well, that's pretty good if you ask me.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane, man. He leads the majors in both home runs and bunt hits. He's 4 for 4 on bunt hits, which is a crazy success rate.
Right.
No player in MLB history has ever hit 30 home runs and made 10 starts on the mound. Ohtani has done that in just 81 games. Right. He is the first player in American League history with 31 home runs and 12 stolen bases before the All-Star break. The list just goes on. So after 347 games, Ohtani has a higher slugging percentage than Babe Ruth. And what was that comment there? I missed it.
MVP with a 278 average. Absolutely.
Get out of here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, first
absolutely.
off, average is a completely flawed statistic, and second, you have to take everything he's doing at the plate and then add what he's doing on the mound to it, and there's no one that can touch that.
Not to mention 278 nowadays is like batting 300. You know, the league average is like 240. So
right, yeah. He also throws the toughest pitch to hit in all of baseball. So his splitter is it's tied with Glasnow's curveball for the lowest batting average.
Wow.
He has thrown 389 splitters in his career. He's only allowed 9 hits on 389 pitches. No batter has ever hit a home run off of his splitter.
okay, so pretty effective, you might say.
Yes.
It's pretty good. It's good out pitch from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. He's got it going on.
I will admittedly be the first person to say that I was not on the Shohei train until this year. You know, he obviously had the Tommy John, he had this, he had that, but like the initial oh, he's the Japanese Babe Ruth. We haven't even seen this guy pitch in the majors yet or like do anything in the majors. So I hate when they do that type of shit. It just hypes somebody up and then pisses me off in return. But it's obvious I'm on board now. You can't not be.
This is the one time I can remember where the hype actually didn't match how good he actually is.
Right. I mean, it took him, 3 years to get to this?
Get the injuries and whatnot, sure.
Right.
But I'm good with that. I mean, Jesus, this dude is he is the best player in the game right now, all the way around.
Yes.
Yeah, he really is. He's got a 5.2 WAR already this season.
Damn.
So that's, for comparison, that's considered all-star level for a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
He's already got 5.2 in half a season. Also, that 278 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
You add that in with it. I mean, 366 on base is great, and you add that to a 704 MLB leading slugging percentage.
Yeah,
it's over a 1.0 OPS. So.
Yeah, that dude could bat 200 if he's got a 700 slugging. I don't give a shit.
Right. I mean, it's all about what kind of damage you're doing. You know, when he does hit the ball, he's cranking it. So
Right.
Was he like a 180, 190 OPS plus or something like that too?
180 even, yeah. So
that's insane.
Crazy stuff.
I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Just one other birthday this week, and your Tony Tone's dope name of the day is Salty Parker.
Parker, I barely know her.
Hey, there
I'll
we
give
go.
her a Salty Parker.
Mm.
Old Salty would be 109 this week.
Okay, that's pretty big old.
Okay, all right.
It's pretty big old. I'm getting used to like the 140s, 150s now. So
I get it. I've set the bar really high.
I know.
So, yeah. Salty was born right across the river from us, our beloved neighbor city of East St. Louis.
Oh,
dude.
Yeah.
No wonder his name's
time
Salty.
over there, boys, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's a prime summer vacation, spot right there, East St. Louis.
Yeah, if you're not from St. Louis, you should come visit, stay there if you're coming
just
to St.
look
Louis.
at the arch from the other side of the river. It's all
Right.
good over there, promise.
Y'all about to get somebody killed.
Salty played pro ball. This is kind of funny. Unknowingly, this kind of matches up with your number 71 story, Ty, from earlier.
Mhm.
He first played pro ball as a 17-year-old for the Moline Plowboys.
Yo,
Plowboys.
Awesome.
Plowboys. I'm pretty
Hell
sure that's the name of a porno or something, but it was managed by his uncle Riley. So in order to keep his college eligibility, he had to play under an alias, Charlie Francis. He picked a super basic name as an alias.
I mean, he had to be, so he fit in.
right?
I guess.
Yeah, you can't be out there just Salty Parkering it up, dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
He eventually played shortstop for the Tigers in just one season, 1936. It was a good season for the Tigers. Apparently, they had a lot of clubhouse issues, but they batted 300 as a team that year and won the World Series. So,
well, that's pretty dang good, huh?
right.
That's all right. That's all right.
So the day Parker got called up, the team was invited to a banquet that was thrown by Chevrolet. The veterans didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want to go. So pitcher Schoolboy Rowe, future dope namer, he's been on my list for a while.
Nice.
He could only get a few of the Tigers players to go. One of them was Salty. He didn't know any better. He was like, yeah, what the hell, I'll just go. So at the banquet, the Tigers players who bothered to show up, they were all told to turn over their plates. And one of them was going home with the keys to a new car, courtesy of Chevrolet. And it was your boy Salty.
Hell yeah, Salty.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Just out here getting cars, dude. Sick.
Yeah, man. He spent a dozen years in the minors afterward, eventually became involved with the New York Mets as a coach. And they fired their manager. He became manager for the Mets for 11 games.
Oh, dang.
Big time, right? He after like 3 or 4 games, he had a winning record, and his colleagues told him he should retire because at that time he would have retired as the only winning manager for the New York Mets.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he would have been the first one, but he didn't. He finished out the season, and they didn't do so well. Also managed just one game for the Astros in 1972, so kind of odd. But somebody pointed out that there has been constructed an all condiments team.
Okay.
On which Salty Parker is a member of. He plays alongside Pepper Martin, Mayo Smith, Chili Davis, and one of my favorite names of baseball history, Pickles Dillhofer.
Yes.
We just need a little bit of mustard. A little bit of orange chicken sauce Jones. You know, we need some wild shit up in here.
Okay.
Nothing too specific.
I would have gone with like Relish Smith or something, but.
Well, you've already got Mayo Smith. You can't have another Smith, dude.
Okay. Relish.
And you got Pickles Dillheffer. So
yeah, see, and you've already got pickles.
You don't do relish and pickles on your burgers?
Relish is pickles.
I understand what it is.
Are you
I guess I just really like no. Come on, dude.
How you gonna mix pickles, dude?
Why not? Pickles are good.
We out here mixing pickles, boy.
I'll give you a pickle for a nickel.
Gross.
How about 2 cents?
What other condiments are good? Oh shit! All right,
Stevie barbecue.
Oh, that's actually fucking sick. That is super tight.
Has no one ever been named Dijon? That seems like it could be someone's name.
What about just like ketchup? Just ketchup Travascus. Tone,
hold on.
Another kid,
oh, it's ketchup. Never mind. Whew, I thought I found a ketchup in baseball history.
Unreal.
All right.
Is that it for Tony Tones? Oh, look at there.
That's
it. Oh my god.
I gave you Old Salty and Young Salty, along with Shohei doing.
I'll tell you what, I'm
getting it.
Oof. I don't know what's better, Young Salty or Old Salty for real. Kind of makes me nervous to even say anything about anything at this point.
Old Salty looks a little bit like Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I get that.
I see it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, let's talk about this just real quick before we get into the rest of the episode. Hey, sign up to be a monthly contributor over at anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support. You can do it for 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. It all goes right back into the show. We've got the website launching here shortly, within the next couple days to a week or so. Correct, Dan?
Correct.
Okay. And, we've got that tournament coming up that we're sponsoring and all of that. So everything that y'all put into this goes right back into the show or getting us out to the public to talk to fans and interact with all of you. So thank you. Head on over there. Do that. You can do it now. You can do it after the show. Whatever.
You do it now.
Do it
I
now.
think now's a good choice.
Yeah,
right
pause
now.
the show. We'll pause. We'll be back in 5. How's that sound? Let's just all be quiet here for 5 minutes.
Live pause. Ready? Go.
All right, fellers, we got some Wheelhouse, and we're gonna start it off with some who's hot and who's not. This isn't really baseball, but we got July
Not
4th.
at all,
Dog.
but
Joey Chestnut does the
my
thing
dude.
again, bro.
Do you think he could actually eat like 100 and he just like breaks his record by like 1 or 2 every single year just to do it?
Listen, I'm watching this man pound down some dogs, dude. There's no way he's holding anything back.
He's giving it his all.
Slamming them. He ate 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes yesterday. That is one hot dog and bun every 8 seconds. Joey fucking Chestnut.
I don't think I could eat one hot dog in 10 seconds.
Oh, Do
Nah.
you think you could eat 10 dogs in 10 minutes?
Maybe.
So he ate 76 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Could we eat 10 in 10 minutes?
I don't think I could.
I'm positive I could eat 10 in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Depends on
Are
how
you-
thick the bun
would
is, I
you-
guess.
Would you would you do it his way? Like, are you talking about like dipping them in water and smashing them up and just
Straight up. Nope, straight up.
You're talking about just like dabbing some ketchup on there and just
Just
Wait, do that one more time.
don't
No.
ever no.
No. Now I'm embarrassed. Oh, shit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I could do 10 dogs in 10 minutes for sure.
All right. We can't do it at the same time as our mashed potato contest
I know, we
because
still gotta
that,
do
that
that
would
too.
just be ridiculous.
Maybe we
But,
can do one for lunch and one for dinner.
I'm gonna need 3
It's a lot
days.
of food in one day, bro.
I'm gonna need 3 days. All right.
Yeah, we do still have to do the mashed potato
All
thing.
right, baseball.
Baseball. Milwaukee
Who else is
Brewers.
hot?
11-1 in their last 12. They are looking hot up there in Milwaukee. They have scored double-digit runs 4 times over those 12 games. They're really kind of pulling away with the NL Central, boys. You guys are looking pretty bad over there. So the Brewers are running away with it. They've got a 7-game lead over the Reds, which is the biggest lead in all of the divisions. So, we kind of talked about it. Central's not so hot really all that much anyways, so it's not going to take much for one team to just kind of step up and get after it, and it looks like the Brewers are the ones doing that.
Yeah, they did the old-fashioned recipe of quality starting pitching, and they're dominating. So
They're starting to look like a scary team, though. Like obviously someone has to win the division, right? And like you said, the
Right.
NL Central is not very good. Someone was going to go, but I didn't really have high hopes that any of the teams from the NL Central were going to go far in the playoffs. But I mean, you look at where Milwaukee's at next to some of the big names, and I mean, they've got 8 more wins than the Mets, another kind of crappy division this year.
Mhm.
But I mean, they're right there. They've got more wins than the Padres, 1 less than the Astros. They're right there with the Giants and Dodgers, and yeah, they could be scary if they're all healthy going to the playoffs.
yeah, they should get Locaine back after the All-Star break. I think he's getting pretty close, so that'll be a big boost to that outfield.
I just really, really like this this team. I called it from the very beginning. I said, they're going to win that division. I didn't think that they were going to go deep in the playoffs either, Tone, but, they're doing it, so we'll see. What about the Dodgers? Talk about them for me, Tone.
Dodgers are hot. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Plus 25 run differential over that span. That's pretty good. They've closed that. Man, these freaking Giants are still just hanging on.
It's crazy.
They're up half a game on the Dodgers right now. But they're right there. I mean, at this point, it's going to come down to, well, who knows? So there's a lot of baseball left to be played, but it's looking like it's just going to come down to what order the standings are going to be in and how that's going to affect the playoff seeding.
Right.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, we know Ty is a fan of this other.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Boston Red Sox, again, fucking getting hot right at the right time. They are 9-1 in the last 10. They've scored 62 runs over that time and have a run differential of 32. So they're out here just 62 to 30 in it over the last 10. They're sitting on a 4.5 game lead in the AL East above Tampa. So We just got done talking last week about Tampa Bay being hot. They've kind of cooled off a little bit, but the Red Sox are just kind of just staying on pace right there, man. They just keep being good, keep getting better. You know, they slumped off there for a little bit, but I don't think that anybody kind of doubted that. You know, we didn't think they were going to be that great of a team anyways. Well, two of us didn't, but
true.
You know,
I'm having a brain fart. Who do they have at first base right now?
Dahlbeck.
That's right.
Tone, do it.
What?
Bobby Ballbeck.
Bobby Dahlbeck.
Thank you. So yeah, I like watching them. We'll probably talk about the Red Sox a little more later, I think, when we get to our trade deadline prediction stuff. So we will get around to that. But for now, Dan, talk about Ohtani for me, dog.
I will happily talk about Shohei
Again,
Ohtani.
talk to me about
fucking
Ohtani again. Yeah.
day. I don't even know what else we could possibly add. Tone mentioned earlier in the birthdays, he's the first player ever in the history of the entire major leagues to be in the All-Star game as both a pitcher and a position player, which is just unreal in itself. And I mean, just in the last week, his slash line is a 286 average, 400 on base, 1143 slugging.
Oof.
That's stupid.
That's good for an OPS.
That's basically like you're just hitting doubles, triples, and home runs. Like, you're not even hitting singles. You're just straight hitting the ball to the fucking wall every single time. He's got 6 home runs, 8 RBIs, 8 runs, and only 4 strikeouts to 4 walks. So that's a monster week.
Right. That's insane. Let's go ahead and move on to who's not. Y'all see Dylan Bundy over there just puke his guts out on the mound, dudes?
Dude,
Yeah.
he really did, man. It wasn't just like a little spit up. I mean, that dude hurled his guts out.
Yeah, did they ever say why? Was he just nervous, overheated? Did
I think it was overheating.
Yeah, it was apparently like 100+ heat index in New York that day. So,
dude, I couldn't fucking imagine. Like,
yeah,
my anxiety peaks no matter what. If I'm out there in the majors puking behind the fucking mound,
You just retire.
just
don't come back
cancel
out.
everything, send me home. I can't even train kids anymore. I've got to just like, I got to, I don't know.
I
Fuck
think
all that.
the worst, you could like see it coming too. Like the look on his face, his face got bright red. He was, do you see the sweat dripping? Like it was the first inning, I think, right?
Yeah.
There was sweat pouring, not just dripping, running off of his hat.
Mm-hmm.
Like the brim of his head. Poor dude was just not feeling it, dude.
I mean, I get it. Like, I'm a fat dude, so I get real hot in the summertime too. But, yeah, like I'm done. Like, I'm never going to wherever that happened ever again.
Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah.
I will be a distant memory to anybody who witnessed me.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to talk about another who's not hot.
Okay.
Old John Boy. I love John Boy. He's
do
always,
too.
they're always hot. John Boy Media is absolutely wonderful. But
Right.
he totally jinxed Adam Wainwright. I don't even know why he made it. It was the most random video ever. He made this entire video about how Adam Wainwright has never given up a home run to a right-handed batter at Coors Field.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's very like oddly specific.
It
Right.
is very oddly specific.
And like the sample size wasn't small, but it wasn't as big as you'd think. Like it seemed really. I was
I get
so
that a lot.
confused.
That's is that his random stats that don't really mean anything but might or some shit? Yeah.
Which whatever. But of course he releases it, and literally that day, Adam Wainwright let up a home run to Brendan Rodgers.
That's
at
so
Coors Field.
funny.
So what you're saying is hopefully we're not featuring you on this segment next week talking about Shohei's splitter and how he's never given a home run on him, right?
Oh, I did say, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yep, it'll happen. It's my luck.
Right. This is going to be a fun one. Tone, earmuffs, Ty, you're going to like this one. Aroldis
love it.
Chapman.
They're already on, so.
Aroldis Chapman has not been great. So since June 15th, which coincidentally happens to be the date the MLB announced their crackdown on foreign substances, he has a 16.88 ERA.
It's pretty good.
He's 4 for 6 in save opportunities. And The opponent slash line against him, 391, 576 on base, 696 slugging for a 1271 OPS. That's real bad for a closer. And it doesn't help. He's only throwing strikes 55% of the time right now.
It's the best closer in baseball right there, Tone, ain't it?
So before that date, he had a sub-2 ERA, and yeah, it's not been great since then.
Historically, he is one of the best closers in all of baseball. Yes.
Sure. Just, except for when they get rid of the grip stuff and when it comes down to the season on the line and, stuff like that. When he's supposed to perform most, he can't. So one of the best for sure.
Whatever. I'm not even. You got me, okay? You got me. I was trying to think of something.
I throw hard.
But you got me.
It's hard because I do really like Chapman. Like when he came up with the Reds and was just pumping 105 and shit, that was one of the craziest things to me. Like I loved seeing that shit. He was wild, fucking striking everybody out left and right, and bounce back and forth. Yeah, the Cuban Missile, dude. Since then, though, I mean, I've been way less a fan because, people tend to forget in 2016, he's the one that gave up that home run to Rajai Davis in Game 7, too, against the Indians to tie it up. And then, he did it for the Yankees twice, like back-to-back seasons, I think, right? Brissot, and then he did it to Altuve the season before. Mm-hmm. When the season comes down to it and Aroldis Chapman's in, he has been failing. He's proven to fail. So it's like it's hard for me to stay on his side with all of this. But I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I could try to play devil's advocate and say he's got good overall playoff numbers, and he does. But you're right. When it comes down to the very pivotal moments, he does not perform.
The literal make or break.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's his downfall.
Alrighty, so we're going to move on to big name injuries. I'm just going to kind of fly through these real quick, and then I'll let y'all talk about a couple cool things, huh?
Yeah.
So on the injuries, we've got Zach Gallen. He's back on the IL, which sucks because, we just traded for him in our fantasy again. And, even that, I just like the guy pitch it. I love to watch him pitch. That's it. It's great. Right. Sixto Sanchez, he's done for the season with shoulder strain, they said. So I think they're going to do a little bit of shoulder surgery. We'll see how that goes. Doesn't sound good for old boy. Buster Posey took a foul tip off the thumb, but he should only miss a day or two. Anthony Rendon is out for a few days with hamstring tightness. And the previous hottest man on the planet, Kyle Schwarber, will miss significant time with a right hamstring strain, according to Dave Martinez. Dave also was quoted as to saying, yeah, that's from carrying the entire fucking team. So
I'm surprised it wasn't a back strain.
No shit.
Right.
So that's all of the bigger named injuries for this week. So hopefully we get to see a couple of those guys back and healthy and performing. Sixto's done for the season, but the rest of them, I want to see him back in the game as soon as we can.
For sure.
Now some cool stuff. I want to do the first one.
All right.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Max Fried hit a pinch hit walk-off single in the 10th. I believe that was yesterday, against the Marlins. So that was pretty neat to watch. The bases were loaded. I wasn't watching the game live. I was out of town, actually, but I got the notification that the Braves had beat the Marlins in extras. And then I got another notification later saying Max Fried had beat them in extras on a pinch hit single. But it was two different things. I was like, what the fuck happened? Right. So there was a wild pitch that got away, and Austin Riley scored, but I think they overruled it somehow because it went back to a tie game, and that's what loaded the bases, and Max Fried came up and hit the pinch hit single.
Got it.
So I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if the batter... I don't know what happened. I didn't get to refresh myself. But still, Max Fried, walk-off, pinch hit single. Pretty sick.
Very sick.
Yeah, you don't see pitchers walking it off very often, so it's always fun when that shit happens.
Right.
You also don't see hitters pitching very often, but that's always fun when it happens.
Right.
Brett Phillips, man, he got his chance to pitch the other day, and he just made the best of it.
Dude, he was like a little leaguer. It was just so much fun to watch him.
I have never seen that much joy on a professional baseball player's face. Are you just crushing some?
I think he just spilled the shit out of a bush over there. It looks like.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I pilt it.
Now you got to slam it.
I fucking can't do that. It's fuzzy everywhere, dude. I got fucking foam all over the goddamn place.
Man,
you're talking about Brett Phillips, dude.
Dude, he was on it. He was having fun. He was out there just lobbing. He threw one. Did you see the first pitch he threw?
And like 93 miles an hour.
I don't think it was though. I don't know. The announcers were like, "Did that just come in at 94?" And they were like, "There's no way that's true."
The other,
but I don't know. It was probably
they were like, "What the fuck? What are we doing?"
Yeah,
it was probably
this guy and he's throwing 94. What the hell?
I mean, it was probably pretty hard though, because like if you saw the conversation like with or the interaction with him and his catcher afterwards, like you could see Brett Phillips was like, "Oh, like slow it down. Oh, okay, I'll do that."
Right.
And then he started throwing like 40-mile-an-hour after that.
47, right. Yeah, just lobbing in there. The best part of that whole thing to me was his warm-ups in the bullpen. Insane. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Right. And second was him yelling at Teoscar Hernandez in the outfield because they're former teammates. So apparently he was yelling at him like, "Yo, bro, I'm coming in to pitch." "Yeah, fucking me, dude. I'm going to come do it." He's like, "I'm going to face you. I'm going to strike you out." And shit was just talking. It was hilarious, man.
That's always so much fun. And last but not least on here, speaking of fun, the home run derby. So Salvi Perez is officially our 5th contestant in the home run derby this year. So that leaves 3 slots open, and there's a week left before the home run derby.
Yep.
So we've got a quick recap. We've got Shohei is in it. Salvi's obviously in it. We talked about him. We've got Trey Mancini is in it.
Yep.
Trevor Story. And I'm missing. Who's the 5th one I'm missing?
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso. That's right. Technically the defending champ. So of the last 3 left, let's all pick one person that we think should be in the last 3. And like, we can't say like Vladdy because he's already said no, he's not going to do it. So like somebody who would actually accept it.
Yeah. Vladdy, Judge, Tatis, Gary Sanchez, and Schwarber obviously have all said they will not be participating.
Right. So with that in mind, who would you guys pick? Who's your one pick for him?
I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Joey Gallo.
That would be fun to watch, Joey.
Yeah, just there's a couple guys higher than him. There's 3 guys higher than him on the home run total list for this season.
That he would be so much fun.
That's just his style, though. Like I'm looking at like Marcus Semien has 1 more home run than he does, but I don't think Semien would be amazing in the home run derby.
Right. Gallo would be hitting 500-foot bombs the entire time, especially in Coors.
Correct. Yes.
All right, Ty, who's your pick?
Can I do 2?
Yes.
You can do. Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll say mine too.
Okay, I'll do 1 first, and if you don't say the other guy, then I'll come back.
There we go.
My first guy is Rafael Devers. I would love to watch Devers just send some. I feel like he's got the pop to do it. So let's see right here. Rafael Devers, he's got 20 on the season.
Got 20, yeah.
So that's tied with Joey Gallo and Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia would be a fun one, too.
He would be fun.
But I want to see Devers. I love Devers. I love everything that he does, and he's having a monster season. The only thing that I don't want is for him to go into this and fuck his swing up and ruin the swing for the second half.
Right, exactly. I would love to see Tyler O'Neill. Yes, I understand that is a little bit of a homer pick, but also he's only played in 64 games and he has 15 home runs. Mm-hmm. So you compare that to even Joey Gallo. He's played in 79 and he has 20. So he's got 15 more games with 5 more home runs.
Right.
Tyler O'Neill goes on a tear and he could be at that exact same pace. So, and I think he would be fun to watch in Coors too.
Yeah, that's true.
Who was your other one though, Ty? Because I'm wondering if
Adam Duvall would be fun.
Ooh,
yeah.
not who I thought you were going to say.
that boy just fucking crushes dingers. Like, he doesn't hit the ball a lot. Like, his average is never high, but when he does hit it, he hits it fucking far.
Sure.
So I think that would be cool. And like, it's low risk, high reward type shit. Put him in the home run derby and fucking just see what he does.
Right.
Can I add 2 really fast?
Do it.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz.
I was going to say Nelly as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that'd be so
Fun.
much fun, dude. He's what, 42?
Something like that,
you know? And then Jose Ramirez would be fun. Just because he has those tower shots, man.
Right.
The way the ball comes off his bat. Yeah, that'd be fun in course.
I didn't say him because I thought somebody else would, but I was thinking Matt Olson as well would be another fun one to watch.
I also thought Matt Olson, but I don't know. I don't know. Was he? Maybe. Was Duvall in a home run derby a couple of years ago? Tone, you got that for me?
I'll find out.
Okay. So that is it for the cool stuff this week. Let's move on to some trade predictions. Let's start talking about that a little bit.
Hell
It's
yes.
about that time of the year, so I want to get into this and just throw it out there. Hopefully at least one of us get one right, and then, we could just talk shit to the other two the rest of the time. So
Okay,
if you're
fair.
watching right now and you have a trade prediction in mind also, throw that in the comments. Let's talk about that. I don't really care. Well, we might get to it in one of ours. That's maybe why we don't get to yours immediately, because we've already got the same fucking idea.
Right.
But still, throw it out there. Give us a comment. Let's see. So, Dan, go ahead and lead us off with the first one here while Tone is doing some research.
Yeah, so we talked about them a little bit earlier, but the Brewers, I have them going for it and adding Josh Donaldson to get a true third baseman in that lineup. It's not a rental because they've got him under control for this year +2 and a club option, so they could have him for 3 years plus this. And no disrespect to Luis Urias, because he's actually had a pretty good year at third base. But this is just a monster upgrade bringing in Josh Donaldson here. Not only are you getting an MVP type offensive guy, but you're also getting an MVP, a Gold Glove third baseman, as well, which is going to help and you put him next to Adames on the left side, and you've got Colton Wong, and who gives a shit at first base at this point? That infield would be nasty. They really don't have any third base prospects coming up. The Brewers don't. So with the control that they would have for Donaldson, that would give them time to either convert somebody or, maybe draft somebody and bring them up, like a college third baseman or somebody who only takes a couple years in the minors. And so if, I'm just kind of throwing some names out. Luis Urias, I would have him going the other way in this trade, because that would give Minnesota a third baseman right away, right, to replace him. But they would also probably have to throw in somebody like a Bryce Terang, which would be a big loss for Milwaukee. But if they've already got Adames at short and they've got Wong at second for the next few years, where do you put Terang anyway? So again, it gives you a little bit of time if you need to bring up another second base prospect. And Milwaukee's payroll really isn't that big over the next few years. They've only got $75 million committed next year and about $48 million committed the year after that. So they could take on Donaldson's contract and be fine, stay in their comfort zone.
That's fair.
Okay.
Tone, did you find anything, sir?
I did, yeah. Brady was correct. 2016, going all the way back 5 years ago. And he is also correct that your boy Todd Frazier knocked him out in the second round. Duvall beat Will Myers in the first round. Frazier beat Cargo. They were both one home run matchups or whatever.
Gotcha.
And Stanton just went off and won the whole thing. He had 24 in the first round that year. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do
Fair
it.
enough. All right, Tone, go with your first trade here, buddy.
Also, Fall Out Boy performed during the Derby, so that's pretty cool.
Fall Out Boy performed during the Derby. That's
Before the Derby. Before the Derby. Sorry. Okay. I think I said Derby.
Imagine them playing in the outfield while they're hitting home
with
runs.
a page or something.
You know what? It's the home run derby. Why not? That would be pretty
Dude, that'd be
sweet.
so much fun.
All right. First trade prediction. You ready for this one? I like this
Yes.
one. It just makes me feel happy. The Giants trade for Taylor Rogers from Minnesota to join his brother in the bullpen. It's just a feel-good story. But, to be fair, San Francisco has the third lowest bullpen ERA, so they're not hurting the bullpen by any means. But this would, completely solidify it. I mean, San Francisco's looking at the playoffs, and we keep waiting for them to fall off, but they're not, and that makes me think
Right.
they could actually make a splash in the playoffs, depending on who they're matching up against.
Mhm.
So yeah, to have just like a dominant bullpen is so key in the playoffs, especially when you don't know like what your starters are going to look like at that time. They could be banged up. So as far as the Minnesota end, I don't think Minnesota should be in complete like sell everything mode, but I don't think it hurts to go ahead and trade guys that are becoming free agents.
Sure.
And they still have Alex Colomé control beyond this year, I believe.
Okay.
I should have checked that, but
It's actually not a bad idea looking at their depth chart because their bullpen isn't anything great. I mean, they've got Jake
Right.
McGee, they've got
Mhm.
Tyler Rogers, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty much a wash. You're just throwing fucking guys out there to get shit done.
But imagine, like, how cool of a story would that be, though? Especially if you did make a splash in the playoffs or won the World Series, and you have brothers shutting down your 8th and 9th innings.
Yeah.
Like, that's so.
That'd
And
be
they're good too. It's not just a name. Like, they're both really, really good this year. So
right. I think that would be really tight. My first one here, and I love it. The Red Sox trade for Joey Gallo.
That would be.
I think that's a
one.
solid fit. You got that short right field fence. Throw Joey out there. Let him get after it. It adds outfield depth that the Red Sox kind of need. You know, they've got Kike as their starting center fielder right now, and then they've got Michael Chavis and Christian Arroyo at second base, but they're both hurt. So
Right.
if you trade for Gallo, you move Kike back to second, let Kike play second the rest of the season, and then you can put Verdugo in center and Joey Gallo in right. There's your outfield.
That wouldn't be
So-
bad. And it's not like he's a slouch in the outfield either. Like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a good defender.
He's the current Gold Glove winner. So
Right. He's got a rocket out there, too.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, in this case, too, you know, Dahlbeck, we've kind of talked about him a couple times on the show this year. He's kind of slacking a little bit.
yeah.
So you also have, you know, getting Joey Gallo gives you that opportunity to put Gallo at first base. You can put Martinez, put JD back in right field for a couple games and just DH Dahlbeck. Just tell him to focus on that. You know, get some swings in today. Take a break. Don't worry about the field. We got Joey on first base today. Same thing with first base or third base. You know, Joey's got the fucking versatility to go everywhere, and he's a power hitter that would match very well with that stadium, I think. And I wouldn't be mad if he went there. So, you know, mainly that's the big one.
Right. They're definitely going
course,
to factor
of course.
that in. So
Right. Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
right,
I
right.
mean, I've been tweeting at him every day privately for like 2 years. Like, yo, don't fucking trade him to the Cardinals. God damn it. Please don't.
Right. WWTD. What would Ty do?
Just
Well,
ask him.
Ty would probably do this.
Yeah, let's go.
My second one, I've got the Braves making a big splash
Mhm.
and trading for not just one, but two starting pitchers,
Not mad at that.
getting Kyle Gibson and Matthew Boyd.
that way they can both get injured too.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
So-
worried about.
So I initially did this trade because I thought Kyle Gibson was a free agent after this year, but I think he's got 2 years of control left.
He
So-
does have one more year left, yeah.
Yeah, so that's big too. So both of them would have this year plus one before free
Mhm.
agency, which gives Soroka plenty of time to recover. You don't have to rush him back. And then when he does come back, all of a sudden, that starting rotation, again, barring any injuries, is a lot better. If you got those two plus Soroka plus Ian Anderson, it doesn't really matter who your fifth is at that point. Maybe it's Inoa or what, take whatever you can get at that point.
Exactly.
they'd
They've
have to-
still got Drew Smiley.
Yeah.
Drew Smiley slotting in at 5 is totally fine with me.
Yeah, it would be perfect. They'd have to pony up a little bit here since there's a little bit of control.
Mhm.
Not as much for Matthew Boyd if it was, say, before last season or two
Right.
seasons ago or whatever when they were first talking about trading him. So I think they could still get him. Kyle Gibson is having a little bit of a career year, so you're probably going to overpay a little bit for that because he leads the AL in ERA with 1.98 and the 2.26 ERA plus. You're likely going to lose one of Christian Pache or Drew Waters. Like that's
Right.
just unavoidable at that point, which kind of sucks considering Ozuna. But
It's
maybe
also fucking business, man. You just got to do it
right.
at some point,
Exactly. They can go get a free agent outfielder. Nick Castellanos can opt out in Cincinnati this year if he doesn't like the direction they're heading. Maybe
Right.
they go that direction. And you know that other catching prospect they have behind Contreras, what is it, Langoliers?
Shea Langoliers. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So he's probably gone too, if you're high on Contreras, but that's not really that big of a deal if you think you have your catcher.
I pretty much expect one of those catchers to be gone by the deadline. I really
Sure.
do. Shea Langoliers or Williams Contreras.
Right.
One of them's got to go. Yeah,
Sure.
it sucks because I like them both a lot, but
Right.
there's no point in having two highly touted catching prospects. What do you?
Right. Exactly.
Nah.
Exactly. And obviously it's not straight up like Patchy for Gibson. And, like you're going to
Right.
have other lower level ones, but those probably get the conversation started for both of those guys. And I think that does it because Atlanta needs pitching so bad.
So bad.
Especially being in the same division as the Mets with their dominant rotation. So I think that really starts to separate them from Washington and Philly and Miami, and they can start chasing down the Mets a little bit.
Yep, I agree.
I think Atlanta is going to be in one of the toughest spots come the deadline because they have their only question is, can we beat the New York Mets? Like they have to, because again, it's probably the NL East is probably not going to produce a wild card team because of how good the NL West is.
Right.
So they have to know, like, okay, we'll make these moves, but like we're doing it with the mindset that we are going to be able to beat the New York Mets. That's all I'm looking at. Like with the Kyle Gibson acquisition, like if that were a thing, I'm just looking at how he can help us this year. I know you said he has a year of control. I don't really trust Kyle Gibson long term. He's been in the league for 8 years. This is his 9th season, and prior to this year, he has a 4.57 ERA.
Sure.
With a 93 ERA plus, so he's historically a below average pitcher. Right about the rest of the season, I'm good with that. But I'm if I'm the Braves, I'm doing it for this year only. I mean, I know he's still under contract next year.
Right.
But again,
next year's just a bonus, but he has to be
but if
this year.
If you get him as a 4th starter, though, you live with that, and that's essentially what he would become when Soroka comes back healthy.
Right.
Because
the Braves are only 3.5 back, so they don't need much. If they're pitching, I do think they need a bullpen piece, but I didn't include that in my trade deadline shit today.
Sure.
They need a bullpen piece, but they need as much pitching as they can, and you can make the rest work from there, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. Get some starters, get some set in stone starters. I don't give a fuck who they are. That's kind of why I agree with this so much, because you can get Boyd, you can get John Gray, you can get whoever. Just throw them in there. Just give you some room.
Get some innings, and then you're relieving that bullpen a little bit,
Exactly.
and it'll probably be better than it is on paper.
That's exactly where I'm at.
You literally took the words out of my mouth, Tone, because then if you have a surplus of starters, you can move them to the bullpen. So you're helping your bullpen in 2 ways by removing innings and adding arms to it. So
I agree.
God, why aren't we GMs? Okay. My next trade prediction is the Cleveland Indians are going to trade for John Gray, Ty's boy. I had to do a double take. I was surprised that neither of you had a John Gray trade prediction in there.
I had other ideas.
Okay. I was like, I don't want to steal one. So
John Gray was the first one that I was going to do, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I got other things going.
So the Indians are kind of similar to the Braves, to be honest. They're kind of in a weird spot right now. They're in the playoff mix despite all their injuries, especially to the rotation. But they're going to need that starting pitching if they're going to go deep. We're talking about even before you can think about playoffs, just making it through those dog days of late July, August into September. Sure. The Indians currently rank 24th in starter ERA. So, again, it's a big need. They need the help here in the rotation. And it's no secret that the Rockies are, or at least should be, selling at the deadline. John Gray's right there at the top of the list behind Trevor Story. I'm fully expecting him to get moved if the Rockies are smart, and I think that could be a good fit for the Indians not even until they get healthy. I mean, once they're healthy, that's going to look like a really good rotation.
I agree, buddy. So moving on to my next one then. I didn't say what I wanted a trade piece for Gallo for. It was Tanner Houck, right-handed pitcher for Boston. I think that just swap it. Let the Rangers start stacking up these young arms that they've been, trying to establish the last couple of years, because they are going to lose guys like Kyle Gibson and Jordan Lyles and those bigger name dudes that they've had around for a minute. They're going to be gone. So start young and build from there. My next one, though, I've got the Reds trading for a starting pitcher, and I've got one of two in mind. Either Kyle Gibson, who we've already talked about, or German Marquez from the Rockies.
Would be solid.
So I'm going to go ahead and just lean with German Marquez since you already talked about Gibson. I'm going to go with that one. So that would give the Reds, a stable front-end starter. Marquez is under control for next year, and there's a club option for 24. So you could potentially have 2.5 years of German Marquez, who, if I need to remind you, just took a no-hitter into the 9th last week. So he's a pretty good player. He has been extended, so he's a little pricey. He's got the money tag on him. It's not like arbitration money. He's got, I think it's 2 years of $15 million a year. But the Rockies are already out here eating fucking money left and right anyways, so get them to pay off a little bit.
Right.
A starting pitcher definitely puts them more in the running to win a division, though. I know that we've talked about the Brewers kind of running off with it, but the Reds' offense is so fucking hot that if you just get some type of starting pitching out of what you've got, or go get somebody, or if Luis Castillo could just fucking get it together a little bit. But
remember how to throw strikes.
Yeah, you can't rely on Castillo at this point, so I think you look external, grab a guy, bring him in. I think Marquez is that guy. And I think you could trade, I don't know, it's kind of big names. I've got Naquin and a prospect, or just Eugenio Suarez having a down season. I mean, I know he's got 16 home runs, but he's only batting, I think, 200. So send Eugenio to Colorado. I don't think he's getting paid a lot either. And even if he is, just fucking straight up swap, cover the contracts, and whatever. You've only got Eugenio for another year or two, and then that's it.
I wonder if Suarez's offensive issues have been also related to learning how to play shortstop this year too.
And that's what
instead
I was
of playing
thinking
third
as well.
base.
We've been talking about the Rockies potentially trading Trevor Story. Everybody's talking about it. He's the highest trade chip too.
Sure.
You can go off of that too and just be like, well, Eugenio has been playing shortstop a little bit this year, so he can replace Trevor Story. Not as good, but you're not looking for as good at this point. You're looking for rebuild. Here's a big name guy that you can still market. You can still get people to come see and be a fan of, and can also still produce at a mediocre level, but give us a good pitcher.
Right.
I really like the idea of Marquez going to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about whoever just a minute ago. We were talking about needing innings. We were talking about Gibson also, but innings eating. That's kind of Marquez's MO. He short season last year, obviously, but he led the NL in innings pitched with 81.2. Led all baseball in batters faced. So he's going to go out there and do his thing. And I love to see him pitch outside of Colorado. His home away splits are pretty telling of how bad, how rough of a time it is pitching in Colorado. At home, he has a career 4.7 ERA, and on the road, he has a 3.61. So over a full 1-run average, less.
That's a pretty big difference there.
Yep.
I think, obviously Trevor Story is a huge trade chip, and, we've talked about John Gray too. I love John Gray, and I want him to go elsewhere. But I think German Marquez is the biggest chip that they have right now because of the control. Trevor Story is going to be a free agent after this year, right? He's in that big shortstop class. Yep. Marquez is what they need to ship, and they can get a return for him. So be marketing him, throw him on the block, get something for him, get as much as you can.
He's also got he's in this 5-year deal. It's 8.6 a year. I'd be curious to see how the money works there. If Colorado's willing to eat some of it.
Right. So that was AAV.
Right.
Most of it is backloaded. So I think he's getting paid 15 this year and 15 next year. And then he's got a $16 million option for 24.
That's okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm down. He'll cost a little bit more than a rental for sure, but
exactly,
that'd be cool. I'd like to see him on the move, whether it's Cincinnati or elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dan, back to you for your last one here.
Yeah, man, my last one. So I had a really hard time coming up with some realistic trades. All right, I really wanted to do these all-in crazy awesome trades, but I want to do the realistic ones.
Right.
With everyone being so close in the division, we kind of talked about this last week. It's really hard to figure out who the sellers are.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a ton of like for sure sellers.
Clear-cut sellers, right?
Exactly. So with that being said, what better time to introduce a straight up old fashioned baseball trade, like something that helps both teams, major leaguer for major leaguer.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the Mets selling Taijuan Walker to the Cubs for Chris Bryant.
Okay.
Probably have to send another smaller piece to Chicago in order to get Bryant. But
dude, I don't know.
It depends on how desperate the Cubs are. So, okay, let's talk about the Mets here. The Mets lead the MLB with the fewest runs allowed as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Despite that, they only have a +5 run differential because they're second fewest runs scored. They just cannot get anybody across the plate.
Right.
So part of that is, they were relying on JD Davis to play third base. He's been on the IL for a long time. He just started a rehab stint, so he's probably coming back right after the All-Star break. But if you can put Chris Bryant on third base, and then you could put JD Davis on second base, and you can give Jeff McNeil a little bit of a break because he's actually had a worse year offensively than Francisco Lindor, who everyone is talking about.
McNeil's been hurt a lot, though, too.
Sure. That changes the dynamic of that entire infield, gives you a little bit more flexibility. The Cubs, on the other hand, they're chasing Milwaukee. They are desperate for starting pitching. Taijuan Walker has been one of the best starting pitchers, and he's only the third best on the team in the Mets, depending on where you rank him with Stroman.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be Taijuan Walker or Marcus Stroman in this trade conversation here because they're both on 1-year deal. So it's a rental for a rental. The only thing the Cubs would really lose long-term in this deal is not being able to extend a qualifying offer to Chris Bryant. So they wouldn't get that draft pick compensation. But if they can make up for that by getting a minor leaguer with a Taijuan Walker or Marcus Stroman, I think, that kind of makes up for not being able to get that draft pick later. So I think this trade just makes too much sense on paper, but I don't think there's a chance it happens.
Fair enough.
So my third trade is right along those same lines. I was crunched on time, so I don't necessarily have both sides of the trade, but I want to talk about the Mets' need for offense. And you had them trading for Chris Bryant. I had them going after another third baseman, Trevor Story. Again, what are you looking at, Ty? Ty had a little grin on his face.
I love it. That's all. I love it.
Okay. Despite being in first place in their division, it's obviously way too close there in the East, and they need a push. Just like I was saying, Cleveland needs that push if they want to decide to, jump the Mets. The Mets could do the same thing and just keep Cleveland away. The Mets currently rank 29th in runs scored, 26th in OPS, 25th in stolen bases, 28th in home runs. Trevor Story will help every one of those categories tremendously.
You're getting a 2020 guy easy.
Right.
So he's going to help you all the way around, boost the lineup. And similar to John Gray and Herman Marquez, Trevor Story should be available by all means at the deadline. So
I was kind of grinning about that because I've thought in my head before, like, Trevor Story is a great shortstop, but he's only a great shortstop because he plays shortstop and he hits the way that he does.
Yeah.
It's not defensive. Like, he's not a stellar defensive
Yeah, so I didn't really
shortstop.
talk about that. I just said do the trade, but obviously Story is a shortstop right now, so he would have to move over to third base.
Yeah, he's not,
because you would want Frankie Lindor to stay as short.
Exactly. If you move a guy like Trevor Story to third base, I think he's got way less to worry about. You don't have to worry about him, obviously leading a team like he has to in fucking Colorado and being one of the hardest positions on the fucking field playing shortstop.
Right.
Let him chill at third base, get some fucking ground balls, make some plays, and then go crush hella dingers. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I love the shortstop to third base transition, like, at some point in your career, because you can do that rather easily. Like, I know, third base is hard to play because of the reaction time and shit.
Sure.
But if you could play shortstop, you could play third. It's easy. Like, Manny Machado flops back and forth all the time. Eugenio, we were just talking about, he's going the other way with it. So
that's tougher.
Yeah. I mean, do it. I love it. At this time in your career, go to a fucking competitive team, win a championship, play a little bit out of your element in third base instead of shortstop, but play for a winning team, like a competitive team.
Right.
Yep.
I love it. My last trade. Kind of going out here, but I think it's a good one for both sides. One of those things we were talking about earlier. So obviously trades have to work out for both teams, and that's probably why none of our trades ever fucking work out, because we've always got one other team in mind where we're like, this really fucking benefits them.
Right.
But you talked about the Braves needing starting rotation earlier, Dan, and I 100% agree. I have them going out for Andrew Heaney. So at this moment, Heaney's going to cost less than either of the two that you talked about individually.
Agreed.
But I will take the inning eating, and I will take the strikeouts per 9 that Andrew Heaney provides. I will bring him over, and he's going to slot into like the 4 hole in the rotation right now. So it's not going to cost much to get him. It could be like a Shea Langeliers or a William Contreras straight up for Andrew Heaney, because Heaney hasn't been performing well this year either. The Angels are 9 games out, and they're in 4th place, so there's still like a glimmer of hope for the playoffs. But depending on how close that race gets, like you guys have been talking about with the East, you don't think that there's going to be a wild card team that really comes out of that division. So if you don't think you can win the division, don't hang on to these guys. Get rid of them. You've got Mike Trout coming back. That'll help you in the outfield. But we kind of talked about beginning of the season, the Angels just accrued like 9 starting pitchers. They were going by, quantity, not quality. So you can afford to lose a guy like fucking Heaney. Like, whatever. He's not the best pitcher you have anyways. So just get rid of him. Fuck it. I think he'd slot 4th behind Fried and Anderson and Morton. I personally don't think that this is the Braves' year. So with that being said, I think he's got the extra year next year. I don't remember. No. He does not. So he is a rental for the season, which is also going to be, I think, a little bit cheaper to acquire as well. But if you get him here and he pitches well and he establishes a relationship with the Braves, there's that much better of a chance that you bring him back next year. Start fresh next year. Come out with a Heaney number 4. He knows that he's the number 4. He's not the number 1 potentially if Shohei's not working out, and he's not the number 2 if Shohei is working out. He's a number 4. He can cool it and relax and be a solidified rock in that rotation, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to cost them anything to get him.
Literally nothing.
It could be some slapdick prospect, to be honest with you. And I'm not.
Right.
That's not a knock on Heaney at all. But the fact of the matter is, he does have a 5.4 ERA this year.
But he's got like an 11.6 K per 9, and
right. There's upside there. Like there's definitely upside, and maybe it's just a change of pace. I mean,
right.
I know he started with Miami, but he's pretty much been in LA his entire career, and maybe he just, like you said, a lot of pressure right now and stuff, and going elsewhere.
He's had a lot of hype around him since he went over to LA. Like he came over in, I forget what trade, but it was a big trade. They were like, oh shit, Heaney was part of that. Like, that was crazy.
He came over with Kike Hernandez and hold on, I just saw it earlier. Austin Barnes to the Dodgers for D. Gordon, Darren Herron, and Miguel Rojas.
Got it. Yeah,
and then he was traded straight up. Oh, I'm sorry. Then he was flipped that day. He went to the Dodgers, and that same day they turned around and flipped Heaney for Howie Kendrick.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that was all on December 11th, 2014.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, Marlins to Dodgers, and then Dodgers essentially lost Barnes, Kike, and then, wow, okay, interesting.
That is weird.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So that is our trade predictions this year. We will probably post those out somewhere just so you guys can kind of keep an eye on it. I don't know. It's just fun to talk about. I love talking about trades and things that should potentially fucking happen, but, don't always go our way anyways. With that being said, let's wrap it up here with our boys, guys. What do you think?
Our boys.
All right. So before we really get deep into it, we decided last week that we were making a little bit of a change to this, correct?
Yes.
So we spun the wheel. We have the AL and the NL West, AL and NL Central, AL and NL East. Spin the wheel. We each get provided one of those regions. We'll call them regions, not divisions.
I like that.
We each get one of those regions, and we have to pick a player from that region. It could be any player of any skill level, because we always try to go with the younger or the smaller name
Lesser
guys.
known.
Yeah, and it just hasn't been working out right. So
Maybe
now-
because they're all lesser known players.
yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, so now we're gonna go big name, as big as possible, and it doesn't even matter. So
In
we
a
got-
couple weeks, though, because next week we also have the All-Star game, which we're going to do a little bit differently as well.
Right, that is true. So we have the 1 week this week upcoming. We have our first one from the region selection.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and talk about our guys from last week, the last of this shit ass fucking bullshit, fucking terrible decision making that we have as a team here.
Hey, Ty, who came in third last week, bud?
Fucking Jake Cronenworth did, dude. He was having the hottest week of all time. I think he was his OPS was like 1,500 last week. This
Yeah, he's
week,
player of the week.
yeah, this week 601. Bro, what are we doing? 6 games, 4 for 23, 174, 296, 304, 601 slash. No home runs, 1 double. He did have a triple, 1 RBI, 5 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Hey, who put these extra notes in here, by the way? I want to know. What else did you say, Tone?
I said Jake Cronenworth looks like Ron Weasley.
And
And he last Monday, the night we recorded, the night you picked him, you jinxed him because he single-handedly left 10 runners stranded.
that seems
That's
to
like
be
you see that like for a
Big
whole
wolf.
team in one game.
yeah.
One dude left 10 runners on base.
That's big.
Yeah,
wolf.
bro. That's kind of how this game goes. We know that we're jinxing somebody, so whatever.
Unreal.
Yeah, that was terrible. Anyways, second place. Talk about it.
Yep, second place, Mr. Arenado. Not the best week. I had high hopes, man. Facing a bad Arizona team, and then going in and facing a just as bad Colorado team in Coors. Batted 200, 710 OPS, 1 dinger, couple doubles, couple RBIs, couple runs. That's pretty much it, man. It wasn't anything to write home about. Definitely not up to his standards. So that leaves our winner for this week, Mr. Dan, Mr. Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
So sick of this.
Had a pretty good week. There's actually a small typo on here. He had a 273 on base percentage last week.
Okay.
But he did have the 773 OPS. So 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 2 walks to 4 Ks. That makes your boy in second place in the R Boys tracker over there. I'm coming for you, Tone.
I've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. I'm coming back hard next week. Fuck y'all.
To be fair,
To be fair.
you just edged this one out.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No,
For sure.
none of us had a good
Yeah,
week.
this wasn't a runaway by any means.
Right.
Yeah, I was almost considering bringing up split skis between you two, but I didn't.
No. He's got the extra home run, the extra RBIs, and the better OPS. So we're going with it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
So that is the end of the shit ass Our Boys session for 2021.
Oh, thank God.
Yep. And now we are coming up on the second half of 2021. Tone, do you have an extra graphic here for your boys? Or do you want to wait until. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
It's the Three Musketeers, boys.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You like
Yeah.
it?
That's beautiful. So your boy here, I spun the East. So I'm going to go Ronald Acuna Jr., obviously.
Of course.
Obviously.
He's arguably the hottest offensive player in the East, so it's pretty easy to rack up those points in our little game we got here. Not to mention the matchups are looking pretty good in my favor. He's got 3 against the Pirates and 3 against Miami. If Miami, tries to, pitch to him and instead of hitting him with every fucking at bat,
Right.
look
Right.
out, because you know that every time he goes to Miami, he's going with a vengeance, and that's not a guy that you want to do that with. So
Right.
I think he's due for a big week here.
Yeah, speaking of big weeks, we talked about him earlier about 47 times, but I spun the West, so I had to take Shohei. I had to.
Yeah.
He does play Boston, but he plays them at home, so I can live with that. And then he goes to Seattle, so I'm perfectly good with those matchups. I really don't care who he's playing against.
I don't care if he's playing like Boston and the White Sox, or it doesn't matter. He's insane.
Yep, agreed. So had to go with him.
He's on another planet. I had the Central, little tougher division, a little less talent to pick from, especially offensively. I ended up going with Nick Castellanos. I'm happy with it. It was kind of a toss-up between him and Jesse Winker, his outfield partner. I don't know if you've compared their stats. They have like remarkably similar stats.
Yeah, it's
very,
insane.
very odd for them to be teammates, same outfield, same lineup, and also have like almost the same stat line.
That's pretty cool.
Also considered Jose Ramirez. I have to say, if Jose Ramirez had been healthy and was still healthy, that'd probably be my number one pick.
Sure.
But I think he's playing tonight, but it's his first game back in like 3 or 4 days. He's been nursing a sore elbow. You never know with that kind of stuff. It could be one weird swing and he could be out for the next week. So I just decided to play it safe, go with Castellanos, and I'll let one of you guys burn me with Jose Ramirez later this season. So
fair enough. We also are deciding that we're going to do a little bit of a point system in this time. It's not just going to be like team discretion. Like we're not going to just decide who won. We're actually going to do points. So we don't know the exact setup yet, but we will put that out there when we do know. So we'll have hard proof and hard evidence that one of us is the winner.
Well, it's been pretty easy to decide thus far. I think we've had one. There was one that was close enough that we called it a tie.
Yeah,
but when no one's really hitting that well, I mean, but we're picking some monster players now, so we're gonna have some good stats to compare. So
I agree.
Hopefully,
yep, yeah.
All right, and that wraps it up for this week, don't it, boys?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This was a fun one. This was a info-packed episode and not terribly long.
We're just full of smart shit, boys. Tell you what.
Damn straight.
I want to thank you guys for listening. Everybody who's here, everybody who's listening live and interacting, everybody who is listening on your streaming platforms. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Head on over to our social media platforms. We've got Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of them at Upper Decker Pod. Just search us. Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us what we fucked up on. Tell us what we said that was pretty smart. You know, it happens sometimes. So let us know. And then if you do want to just listen to us, Tone, where can they do that?
Yeah, if you're just going to listen only, you can find us, search for Upper Decker Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the listening platforms. If you go to our website on anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support, you can see a full list of all the different platforms we're available on. If you are listening to us that way, and there's an option on that platform to leave us any type of review or rating, please do that. Give us 5 stars or leave a comment saying how good we are. We appreciate it, and it helps us kind of move up in the algorithms and everything. And if you would like to donate with some monies, Dan.
Oh, boy. So you can sign up to be a monthly contributor at, that was really
very
good.
Thank you. Oh, hi, pal.
Why have you been holding out on me for this long?
Muska, Mickey Mouse. You like that?
That's pretty good.
I watch a lot of Mickey Mouse.
That's way too good.
I can tell. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to be a monthly contributor and contribute to the Ties or Tones Mickey Mouse Fund over here, go to anchor.fm/upperdeckerpod/support. You can sign up to be a monthly contributor for 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 a month. Or if you prefer to just send us a one-time donation, you can reach out to us on any of the socials that Ty mentioned before. We're all monitoring them all the time, so you'll get one of us. You can shoot us an email at upperdeckerpod2020@gmail.com, or you can go to paypal.me/upperdeckerpod. All of those will get you directly to us, and we can take your monies so we can put it back into the show, buy new equipment, host softball and cornhole tournaments. The new site, as Ty mentioned, will be live this weekend, so there will be cool products on there. All of that stuff just goes right back into the show. We're super, super excited about it, and we appreciate you guys and all of your support.
Absolutely. And you brought up the softball and cornhole tournament, so I'm going to do it again. Get out there and register. What are we doing? What are we doing, everybody? Register for the tournament. Let's get out there. Let me see your beautiful, beautiful faces. I want to watch y'all. I want to watch somebody win, dude. I want somebody to come out here. Don't forget, we're donating 50% of it to charity. Dan, talk about that charity again real quick.
Yeah, it's the Veterans Community Project. They build tiny homes for homeless vets, and they also help veterans navigate the intricacies of the VA system. So they're a great organization and definitely worthy of support.
Cool. So go ahead, get on over there, email us. We'll send you the registration link. Do it from there. With that being said, episode 72 next week, boys. We got the All-Star break. We're going to do some fun shit next week. That's right, Tone. We're going to get that bear claw out here, dog. We're going to get weird with it.
Can't wait.
We will see you guys next week on episode 72 of the Upper Decker Podcast.
Peace.